In this video, we'll be going over 10 different ways that you are already a scientist. Coming right up. Hello and welcome to EcoElsa. Welcome back my returners, and if you're new and don't know me, my name is Elsa and I make videos to help you get outdoors. In this week's video, we're going to be doing a little bit different thing. We're going to be talking about 10 different ways that humans are naturally scientists already. This video comes as a special request from Katie Elam in Montana. Big thank you to Katie for watching our videos and coming up with this great idea for a topic. This video is dedicated to you, Katie. Thanks for the suggestion. For all of you watching, if you'd like a video dedicated to you as well, make sure to leave in the comments below any video topics you'd like us to do in the future. So big thing to keep in mind though for this video is that we're not going to be talking about how everyone should like a science discipline or science related topic, and we're also not going to be talking about how everyone should be a scientist. No, in this video we're going to be talking about 10 different ways that you are already a scientist because you do these things without even realizing it. So let's get started. Number 1, curiosity. So all humans naturally are curious. Whether it's you're curious about art, maybe you're curious about cooking and baking, or building cars, taking them apart, whatever the case may be, you are naturally curious. Before you say, oh no, I haven't been curious about things in years, that's something I did as a kid. There you go. You were curious as a kid and you've lost touch with that now as an adult. I hope you can find your way back to it because you are naturally curious. Even if you can't remember the last time you were questioning about something, I can guarantee you though that there was some time, probably more recent than you would think, where you saw something new or saw something for the first time and you became curious. Maybe you started looking it up on your phone or your computer. You wanted to learn more, know more about it, see more of it. Humans are naturally curious. They want to learn and explore and discover things. It's kind of how we've managed to get this far as the human race. If humans weren't naturally curious, I don't know we would have accomplished quite as much as we have already. Being curious is something that scientists do, and it's something that all people do because all people are scientists. Also keep in mind that if you're one of those people who ascribe to, well, I'm not curious because curiosity killed the cat, please keep in mind, satisfaction brought it back. Number 2, ask questions. So maybe the last time you remember doing this was as a little kid, asking your parents 1,000,001 questions in about 5 minutes. If you don't remember this, go ask your grown-up and see what they can tell you about a time that you did that. We ask questions, and even if you can't remember because you're getting older, it's okay, we're all going that way. There were times where you've asked questions, even in the recent, about, well, why is this done? Why is this? What is that bird doing? What is that person over there doing? Asking questions is something that you do in your regular day-to-day, and that scientists and more formal disciplines do in the form of hypothesis. They ask a question and then they form it into a hypothesis where it's, the red lipstick will not go well with the entire blue outfit is my hypothesis. Versus my question is, as the person who's trying out a new lipstick is, I wonder if this bright red lipstick will go good with my entire blue outfit. Let's test it and see. Which brings us to number 3, experimenting. Humans experiment. Even if it's super rapid, like I just explained where I'm going and I'm getting a new red lipstick, I have questions, and I'm testing it out to see what works. That was super rapid fire. You may think, well, it's an experiment, it has to be this big formal thing where I'm coming up with hypothesis and I'm testing and I'm watching little mice run on wheels. Run, little mice, run. What I'm showing you is that we all are scientists. So think back, there probably was some time where you were cooking, you were doing some scratch cooking, and you're experimenting to see what worked and what didn't. Or you were working on a car, you got a new tool that you were using to help make a task easier, and you're experimenting what was the best way of using that tool. How much force did you need to apply? Did you need other tools to help loosen the part first, and then you could use your special tool? All these different things, you are experimenting. You're taking this new thing and you're testing it out to see how it works, whether it's art, makeup, cooking, being a mechanic. You are experimenting, which is something that scientists do. Also, something to keep in mind, if you ever had a spouse or a parent who's done scratch cooking and they haven't killed you, major props, because scratch cooking and baking can be kind of temperamental, and that's why it is experimenting. Andrew's almost killed me with his cooking. Shh, I didn't tell you that. Number 4, make observations. So as you're doing this experimenting, it's not just complete closed off, I'm doing this and then I will figure out things at the end. You're making observations. You're observing how the tool is working with the other parts for your car. You're observing how the different spices or the new technique for making pancakes is working. Is it showing signs that it's going to give you the results that you would like in this case? Or is it the case like the lipstick, where you're literally just making observations about, it does this to my face, but it does this with my eyes, but it looks this way with my shirt. You're making observations. You're being a scientist, like I said. Science. It may be a little different than what you were taught was formal science experiments, where you're just making observations and writing them down and then you will do things at the end. But you're still doing it. You're observing, you're making observations, whether you're using your different senses or you're just jotting down notes in your mind about how it's going. So number 5 is analyze. Now, what I was talking about there before with like the lipstick is, as you're making these observations, you're analyzing those observations. You're compiling them into groups. Things that support what you're thinking, things that disprove what you were originally thinking, and then the stuff in the middle. Just like hypotheses. You're looking to see what supports, which disproves, and what does nothing for your questions that you had. And from this information, as you're analyzing it, then you will be looking to see if, yes, it supports your question, answers your question, or no, it doesn't, and you need to do more. So that's kind of where the analyzing comes in. You're doing that as you're experimenting, though. And scientists do this too, even though they're only supposed to draw their conclusions at the end once they have as much of the data as they possibly can get. Which brings us to number 6. So as you're analyzing and getting in this information and seeing how the experiment's going, you are, number 6, adapting. So this may sound counterintuitive. Scientists don't suddenly change their experiment and adapt as they're doing it. No, they do that on another test in a formal thing, or they do it even before they started the formal experiment. But as a field biologist, I can tell you this right now. Scientists do adapt their experiments, because if you come to a study site and all of a sudden it's been all cut down, or you're in a drought and all of a sudden the pond is dried up, you need to find a new study location. So you're adapting your study and your research to a new location. Or maybe an important piece of equipment breaks halfway through, and now you can't compare the results using that piece of equipment between the 2 different sites or the different animals or whatever it may be. And now you have to adapt to be comparing other information. It's why we collect so much data and information and make so many observations when we're doing formal experiments. And you do that too. As you're putting on your lipstick or as you're cooking, you're adapting. You're maybe changing the recipe a little bit, so you're seeing if maybe you can get the results that you wanted. Or as you're putting on the lipstick, you're realizing that this technique doesn't work for this tube of lipstick and I gotta try something else. Maybe I need a little lip liner because this tube just doesn't work shade-wise with my skin. So you're adapting. You're finding different ways of experimenting and then making the experiment work more towards the way that you would want it to. So like I said, not quite formal, but scientists do it, and you do it too because you're a scientist. Number 7, draw conclusions. So as you've finally gotten to the end here, you've done maybe all the kinds of adaptations that you can do for your experimenting with cooking, with makeup, with art, with being a mechanic. You're starting to draw conclusions. You're compiling this data. As I said, you've been compiling it as you've been going along. Yes, no, maybe. And you're looking at it. Do I have more yeses than nos? Do I have the result that I wanted? Does it answer the question that I had about the world or about my lipstick? So you're drawing these conclusions and compiling the information into the conclusions and seeing what the answer is. You're analyzing your results. Now, once you've analyzed your results and you've drawn a conclusion, then comes number 8. Develop a theory. So now that I've tested out my red lipstick with a couple different colored outfits, and I realized it doesn't work with the all blue outfit, there's too much clashing for me, it's not what I'm looking for. Now I know, hey, this red lipstick, my theory is, will not work with other all blue outfits, because blue just seems to be a color that it clashes with. So I now have a theory. Or maybe it's putting dough in the fridge before baking it may work for making cakes fluffy, but it does not work for making pancakes fluffy. I don't know if that's true or not, just an example. So you're coming up with a theory and then you're applying it to what else you've learned, which is number 9. So you're applying what you learned to the world around you. Congratulations. You have your theory, you now apply it to other things to see if it supports or disproves your theory, and you keep moving forward. And you do this a million times a day. Well, I shouldn't say a million. Exaggeration. You're doing this multiple times a day. Maybe this whole process, maybe part of this process, maybe even just the first step of asking the question. And you're working your way through this more often than you'd actually realize. And number 10, then, is you are creating new experiments, because as a scientist, or formal scientists, we can't just kind of sit with the one answer. So we're going back and we are doing the same experiment over again to see if we still get the same results. Maybe you're doing this with cookies. You had one successful batch of cookies, or maybe it was veggie burgers. I've done this when I've experimented and made my own veggie burger recipe, is you go back and you try and make the same recipe again to see if you can get the same results again. That's something that scientists do. Or you're going back and you're tweaking a couple different things to see if you can make them even better. Maybe I'm going back and going, I know it didn't work, my red lipstick, once again, didn't work well with the bright blue all outfit, but maybe it'll look good with this dark blue dress. Let's try it out. Let's see how it goes. So if all these different things seemed vaguely familiar to you, like you couldn't quite put your finger on it, this is because we basically went through the steps in the scientific method. So if you look at the graphic here on the left of the screen, you'll see the steps in the scientific method for how scientists are supposed to formally go about researching and testing a question or a hypothesis. And this is something that we do in our day-to-day lives when we are trying something new. These are all steps that kind of seem to come naturally to a lot of humans. And they're part of the scientific method. So you are using the scientific method when you're trying to cook something from scratch, or when you're using a new tool to fix something on your car, or makeup, or clothes, or art stuff. Humans are naturally scientists. We are curious. We want to learn, explore, and discover new things. It's how we've gotten this far. There's a lot we wouldn't have accomplished if we weren't naturally, as a human race, a lot of these things. We have been scientists from the first humans and the early philosophers learning about the world around them, all the way to present-day babies learning about the world as it is now, and you're a scientist too. So you don't need to have a formal science degree, and you don't need to do science experiments in your day-to-day job to be considered a scientist. You can be a citizen scientist. So if the thing that you're curious about and you apply the scientific method to is formal sciences like biology and chemistry and physics, there's a lot of citizen science opportunities for you to apply those skills and that curiosity and help formal scientists who are paid to be scientists around the world with what they do. Whether it's studying animals and plants, or maybe it's developing new technologies and methods for fighting climate change or other issues that we face. There's lots of different ways for you to apply your super science skills to help the world and other scientists around the world. So make sure to check out the link below in the description to a previous blog post I have done listing tons of different citizen science opportunities, whether you live in Minnesota, the US, or somewhere else on the world. Make sure to check those out if you want to participate in citizen science and use your super science skills for good. As always, if you have any other things, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you what you're curious about, as well as if you have citizen science opportunities that you know about. Make sure to leave them in the comments below. That way other people can find them and use them, as well as I'll be adding them to my big old citizen science master list. If you'd like to have a video dedicated to you in the future, you have a topic that you think would make a great video, make sure to leave it in the comments below like Katie Elam did. That way we can see it and we can go, oh look, what a great video topic idea. Let's turn that into a video. So unfortunately, that is all we have for you today. We hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like it and subscribe below, and make sure to ring the bell, that way you can be notified when new videos are up on YouTube. We are doing our big winter giveaway, and for this month of January it is YouTube. So how you can get entered to win cool prizes is make sure to subscribe to our page, and then if you want additional entries, head into the comments below this video and comment, take a friend, and share this video on a platform like Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Share this with the hashtag EcoElsa WINter 2020 for additional entries into the giveaway. You can get one entry for each one of those things. So if you subscribe and then you do these 3 things for this one video, you've now been entered 4 times. So what are you waiting for? Make sure to do it. This winter giveaway is going on through April 22nd, lasting almost as long as winter is here in Minnesota. So there's going to be plenty of ways to get entered. So if you're looking for more ways to enter, head over to our YouTube channel, watch our other videos in the giveaway playlist to see what other ways there are that you can get entered to win lots of cool prizes. As well as if you're looking for more resources to help you with getting outdoors or just learning about science in general, check out our description for links to more things, or head on over to the EcoElsa.com webpage where you can find lots more links to tons more resources, as well as if you live in Minnesota, you can find more opportunities for signing up for one of our classes to learn more about a certain topic that piques your curiosity. And as always, we hope you have a great rest of your week and be safe, learn lots, have fun, and get outdoors. We'll see you out there. And before you go, well, curiosity killed the cat. Please keep in mind, satisfaction brought it back.